Mike, another IABF event, beautiful night. What does this foundation mean to you?
Well, it means a lot because essentially they help us do what we do. And I think one of the most unique things was, for me, growing up Italian-American and celebrating our heritage, and recently with the Classic, the success we've had there, keeping that momentum going and encouraging the next generation to sort of carry the torch. A little bit of an older guy. I'm not going to be around forever, and I think the most important thing is continue to encourage people, particularly ball players of Italian descent, to celebrate their heritage and carry on the tradition, and hopefully take that back and grow the game worldwide, because the world is shrinking, other sports are expanding, and so we have to do that with baseball. And so that's something which this organization and what we're doing in Europe is what we're trying to accomplish.
Very important, and it is the offseason, so we got to talk Mets. Mm-hmm. They made a brand new hire of the manager and Carlos Mendoza. What do you think of the hire?
Yeah, I mean, I think he seems like he's a real smart guy and is really on the trends and all the information and the new age of sabermetrics and all these things that are very important to success. However, you also still have to be a motivator, and just being the experience he has, and just like I said, I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot of work ahead. But my theory is you have to build a culture and you have to get the right people. And I think Steve has done that, and trying to build what is a successful project, and a team that's successful really just has to start from the top, so leadership is important.
Recent news that the Mets are signing Luis Severino and Joey Wendell. What areas do you think the Mets most need to prioritize this offseason?
Well, I'm a basics guy, in my opinion. I mean, pitching and defense is very important. Pitching, in so far as the new game, is pitching and bullpen and catch the ball. And I think hitting is obviously very important, but if you don't do the first two things, the hitting won't save you. So the fact that I think we got to be able to throw strikes, we got to catch the ball, we have to have guys that are able to take the ball and close games, and then hopefully the offense is balanced with some speed, obviously power. And it's not secret formula, it's just very simple. It's baseball. You throw the ball, catch the ball, and hopefully get some timely hitting.
You make it sound so simple.
It is, in a way, but then very hard to execute on.
You know a thing or two about catching, obviously. Francisco Alvarez, what did you think of his rookie season and where he could potentially improve?
I think it was really exciting. I think I love players that have an ability to hit in the clutch, to have big moments. My own little critique is that he likes to swing the bat, and you have to be disciplined, because when you come up in the league and you start getting hot, and then the teams start to really look at you and try to exploit your weaknesses. And once he struggled a little bit, I think it was early September, and I was happy for that, because then he's going to realize that you have to always adjust. This is a game of adjustments, so you have to bring your strike zone in a little bit, try to discipline yourself, take a few walks, and hit the pitches that you should hit. So that's maturity. So the more time he gets out there and starts to understand what he needs to accomplish, he's going to grow. And but you can't start without the ability. You have to be able to hit the ball. He's got power. Seems like he catches the ball pretty well. So yeah, I'm an optimistic. I think he's a good kid. He's going to work hard, and had some nice conversation with him. So the future looks bright.
Awesome. And after the 1998 season, you signed a long-term deal with the Mets. Pete Alonso's in a similar situation. How do you think the Mets and Pete should play this out?
I'm not an agent, and obviously I'm not writing the checks. But look, he's a great player, and guys like him don't grow on trees. 40 home runs, 100 RBIs. He's proven he can be durable. He's proven he's going to drive in the runs. On the business side, things have to work out. I always want players to get as much as they can. I think he's worth it. I hope there's synergy there and they're able to come to an agreement. I mean, obviously, I'm not versed in what's going on behind closed doors or communications, but I pull for him. I hope he stays. I hope they work it out. Hope both sides come to an agreement, because I think he's proven he can do it on the stage of New York. And hit 50 home runs. I mean, you just don't find these guys. And like I said, it seems like he's going to be healthy throughout his career. So hope it works out.
I think Mets fans are in agreement with you. Last question here. What are your thoughts on getting some company up in the rafters at Citi Field with Doc Gooden and Darryl Strawberry's numbers being retired?
That's great. I mean, what those guys represent, what they've done for the Mets, obviously one of the greatest teams in the history of the franchise, the big moments, the excitement, and fans. You know, one thing about the Mets is the fans are really, really uniquely nostalgic about our history. And the fact that Steve has been so positive in trying to celebrate the history and bring that in with the celebration of the new guys and the modern guys that are playing today is great. And so we're excited for the fans, and we're excited the fact that they're so excited about these celebrations. So. And again, you know, as a team, we don't have a lot of guys left to honor, so we got to draw it out a little bit. Everyone's like, yeah, put in this guy, put it there. I'm like, whoa, you know, yeah, let's just bring it out, and we'll celebrate the guys. And so I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun year this year.
Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.